Hey guys, JonTaun for Total Brohammer today. I'm coming at you with another Total War Warhammer 2 quick battle. Okay, so today I'm going to be bringing Chaos against High Elves. Alright, for my army, in the vanguard, I've got 2 Marauder horsemen with throwing axes, and these are, of course, for dragons. They are armor piercing, and therefore, very mobile, and therefore they should be able to help poke down dragons. For my front line, I've got 4 Chaos Warriors with great weapons, a very cost-efficient great weapon infantry, and a lot of armor is to be expected when you're fighting the High Elves. So, those guys are pretty good. I've also got 2 Forsaken. You can also expect archers and spearmen of some kind when fighting the High Elves, and Forsaken can just destroy either of those units, just completely one-sided on that. I've also got 1 chariot to help me win that frontline battle, because I expect the High Elf frontline to be wider than mine, at least as far as the amount of armored units they have, since I've only gone with 4 great warriors, chaos warriors, great weapons that is. Here's the other Forsaken. I've also got the mighty Kholek Suneater, and he's here for dueling dragons, of course. And I've got a Chaos Sorcerer of Death with Spirit Leech and Faded Beaner, standard kit on that. Some Chaos Warhounds with poison, and some Chaos Knights with lances. So, for my opponent, he has 4 white lines to trace, 2 spearmen, 1 Phoenix Guard, 1 Swordmasters of Hoeth, 2 archers with light armor, interesting, and a Prince on a Star Dragon, and a Sun Dragon. So no magic for my opponent, interesting. Alright, let's kick it into gear here. So, first thing I'm going to do upon seeing his army is, I'm gonna just fly over here with my camera and see what he's got. He's going to start advancing first, and then I'm going to start advancing as well. So my plan here is to kind of overwhelm one flank, so I'm going to send my Marauder horsemen with throwing axes, Kholek, and this Sorcerer of Death, along with my cav, all run to the right flank. I'm just going to try to keep these Chaos Chariots in reserve, waiting for an opening to appear in his line. Alright, so just charging up here, and the plan is I'm going to... He's not contesting the flank very much, so I'm just going to get a complete surround on him. So I'm just going to do a straight charge down the center here. He's just have his dragons overhead. Just do a breath attack over here, and it does about 33% of damage to these Marauder horsemen. They're bunched up because of this rock, so that was pretty good. And as you can see, they're actually going to get quite a few volleys here, but they're going to do very good. So the front lines are clashing. Now, his front line is just going to decimate my front line. Swordmasters of Hoeth and Phoenix Guard, my guys don't stand a chance. I mean, look at the trade so far. But my guys should do better against these white lines. But, you know what? They don't seem to be in this particular engagement. So I'm going to send my chariots in, and they're going to get caught up on the Star Dragon. I'm going to drop a Faded Beaner on these Phoenix Guard, but the Star Dragon is going to come in and hit him. And I made a big mistake here. I should not have separated my Chaos Sorcerer of Death from Kholek, because the Star Dragon was able to come in and 2 hits take him down to half health. So I'm going around the side here with my Forsaken to get into these Spearmen Archers, because I know the Forsaken will absolutely destroy them. And I'm trying to keep these Marauder Horsemen on this Star Dragon. And this guy actually takes off, so all my guys lose aggro on him. And he comes over here and just finishes off my Sorcerer, and he completely shatters, in fact. But I am able to get some pretty good hits on this Prince while he's down here. So these Forsaken over here do get sandwiched. That's really bad for them, and these guys are getting sandwiched as well. And I'm just riding these chariots around to the front line, trying to do as much damage to his superior infantry as I can. So we did beat these white lines of trace, leaving me with these guys, so I'm going to bring him in to attack. I think these Phoenix Guard. I'm going to drop a Lord of the Storm right here, pretty good. And as you can see, I did about 33% damage on his Prince over here, so now he's down to half health, so that's the price he pays for getting my Sorcerer off the field. And that was a really big blunder on my part, because that Sorcerer would have been so useful. So I'm charging around through the chaos with all my Chaos Knights, no pun intended. And he's going to land the Sun Dragon on my Kholek Suneater, and that's not going to go well for the Sun Dragon. Let's pause it and see what the stat differences are here. So we got Kholek Suneater as he brings the hammer down. He's got 60 melee attack, 52 melee defense, and 540 weapon strength versus 46, 44, and 460. So yeah, he's also got double the armor as well. Kholek is going to beat that ass. So I'm just going to keep on cycle charging with my Chaos Knights with lances. They are, my infantry is getting its salad tossed by this High Elf infantry, that's to be expected, but we're getting some pretty good charges. Gonna charge into these Phoenix Guards just because they weren't braced and weren't facing. I do stay in there too long, and he is gonna get some really good damage on me. As you can see, Kholek just absolutely destroyed that Sun Dragon. Not even close. And we're just bringing all our routing units back into the battle here to hold up this big blob of High Elves right here. So I'm gonna be running Kholek around, just doing charges all over the place. And he does get a really nice Dragon Breath right there. I did miss it, but he just destroyed those 2 units like instantly. So at this point, almost my whole army is gone. I got a little pocket over here working on these white lines of trace, but it's not looking too good for me right now. But the only saving grace here is Kholek is at very high health. So this could go either way at this point. So I'm just trying to get some shots in with these Marauder Horsemen on these friends over here. And I'm just bringing in all my routing units. I'm just going to be charging around with Kholek. And every time his dragon goes somewhere to land, I'm going to start mirroring him with Kholek, which I already should be doing, to be quite honest, but I didn't want to break these white lines of trace. So I got my Forsaken on these archers. As you see, they did a ton of damage. I keep on giving attack orders for these Marauder Horsemen on the Prince, but it's like they're on skirmish mode, despite the fact that they're not on skirmish mode. And they just want to attack the Star Dragon over here. So he does go ahead and take out my chariot there, but I get Kholek in here, and he does miss, and he takes off with Kholek right on his tail. So he's just kind of converging everything on Kholek here, and I feel like he feels like as though he's got this battle in the bag. But Kholek is such a beast in melee combat. Honestly, Kholek can pretty much beat everything he has left. But I do get my Chaos Knights back here. I'm going to keep on charging around with them. Going to bring these Chaos Warriors back into the fray to pin down these guys. And I think I'm going to come in here. Yeah, here come my Chaos Knights to do a charge. And this is just going to do devastation on all these guys. Chaos Knights do very well on the charge. So as you can see, that breaks his whole pocket of units right here. Which also causes his Phoenix Guard and Swordmasters a hoe at the break. So we got a big rout going on there. And all of a sudden it looks pretty good for me. All he's got left is a Prince on a Star Dragon at about 1/3 of his health, so he's gonna land in there. Big mistake. Gonna get Kholek on that ass, and it looks like the melee defense of the Star Dragon does come through for him on there, because we are not getting hits on him. He's gonna pop Foe Seeker and try to get out of here. As you see, all 3 of those hits, none of them hit him actually, which is really unfortunate for me. So I'm just going to get my Chaos Knights to make sure these Phoenix Guard don't come back, because Phoenix Guard really like to come back, even with really low unit models. But he is able to take off over here. What's the speed on this guy? What's the speed on Kholek? 78? I figured Kholek would actually be able to keep up with the Star Dragon while the Star Dragon's on the ground. These guys are going to come back over here, so I'm going to try to bring him back to the battle. He's going to see this and start going for them after I believe he's going to rout these guys off first. But I can see he might be coming down to hit these guys, so I'm going to bring Kholek over here and just mirror his movements. So he's going to see these guys and start going for him, and they're going to see that big old dragon come in, and they're going to be like, nope, we're out of here. They're just going to shatter at that point. So over here, I want to make sure none of these units come back. These units have, I'm going to send these great weapons units into them, and I'm going to bring my Forsaken back, because I don't want him to go around the Star Dragon picking everything off. Although, at this point, I pretty much do have the battle, since Kholek is at such higher health compared to the Prince. So, none of these guys are braced, so I'm going to send my Chaos Knights right into them, despite the fact that they are anti-large. And as you see, without their brace, the shock damage is just tremendous. I charge right through into the Swordmaster's hoe. And then the Star Dragon comes down to challenge Kholek. Big mistake. Oh, and Kholek gets a huge hit right there. So, I don't know about a one-on-one fight, but I think Kholek can beat all dragons in the game. Let's see, that's 68, 58, and 580 compared to, well, we can't see Kholek's anymore, but Kholek is a beast in melee combat. Alright, so let's look at this in-battle breakdown here. Kholek with 61 kills. Honestly, this could have been a much more one-sided battle if I would have kept my Chaos Sorcerer of Death with Kholek. I got really anxious and wanted to get a Fate of Yuna off as soon as I could on those Phoenix Guard, and that put him in a bad position, and I should have just been more patient and kept him with Kholek. Because if he tried to snipe him, then Kholek could just start whomping on those dragons. Chaos Chariots, that Sun Dragon took care of him pretty good. Stopped him from getting too much done. As you can see, our Chaos Warriors with great weapons got absolutely trashed by that High Elf front line. I mean, he had by lines of trace. I think Chaos Warriors with great weapons beat them. They're slightly more expensive, so that should be the case. But in any case, they'll trade very even. But he also had the Swordmasters of Hoeth and 2 dragons to tip the scales there. I tried to use my Chaos Chariot, but like I said, it got wrecked. These guys did pretty well though. As you can see, my Forsaken over here, these guys were fighting Spearmen and Archers the whole match, and they did absolutely fantastic. 174 kills. My Marauder Horsemen and Throwing Axes didn't get much done, to be honest, and I was kind of surprised at that. They are armor piercing, so that is unfortunate. Castle Warhounds with poison, I just shouldn't have sent them in. I got anxious. I wanted to make sure they couldn't fire, but really everything I have is very armored, so I didn't really need to worry about the archer fire all that much. Should have just kept these guys back until an opening opened up, or should have kept them back until some units started running out so they could go feast on them. Chaos Knights with Lances did very good. The cycle charging was very effective at taking down all these units, especially when they're not braced. I mean, look at these Phoenix Guard. 1400 spin, 22 kills. His Swordmasters of Hoeth came through for him, though. Those guys did great, and his Wildlines of Trace also did pretty well. His Sun Dragon took out my Chariot, as I've said, but then he got beat down by Kholek, so that wasn't fun for him. Same thing with the Prince. He did a lot of good cycle charging, got some good breath attack, but when it comes to a dragon versus Kholek, Kholek just takes the cake. But alright guys, that's going to be all for this one. This is JonTaun for Brohammer signing out.